To the November 2017 edition of the American Journal of Physiology, Heart and Circulatory Video Table of Contents, or from the editor's desk. This month, we're coming from the American Heart Association Scientific Sessions in beautiful downtown Anaheim, California. I hope everyone had a great October and what's left of November. This month, it's getting much colder in North America, but certainly based on the articles published this month, the science is heating up. We have a terrific volume this month with 5 review articles, 18 original research papers, including one rapid report and also one editorial focus piece. So without any further ado, let's see what's inside. I know you're looking forward to it. Apple and Kokovai review the emerging evidence that changes in the vascular niche, both structurally and functionally, contribute to reduced neurogenesis during aging, and how this might contribute to reduced plasticity and repair in the aged brain. No question you will find this article informative and thought-provoking. In review this month, Caligiuri et al. Discussed the role of oxylipins in cardiovascular disease in aging. Oxylipins have been implicated in many conditions, including cardiovascular disease and aging. The best characterized oxylipins in relation to cardiovascular disease are derived from omega-6 fatty acid arachidonic acid. Much less is known regarding the oxylipins derived from the 18-carbon omega-3 acid alpha-linolenic acid, but clinical trials with flaxseed supplementation have indicated that these oxylipins can have positive effects on blood pressure. Aging is associated with chronic inflammation, partly mediated by increased levels of damage-associated molecular patterns which activate pattern recognition receptors, or PRRs, of the innate immune system. In this review, Wilhelm et al. Summarized the present knowledge about the relationship between activation of PRRs, such as toll-like receptors expressed by cells of the neurovascular unit blood-brain barrier, chronic inflammation, and aging-related pathologies of the brain. Kai Blaustein provides a long-awaited overview of the role played by sodium pumps and endogenous wabane on left ventricular hypertrophy in hypertension. A large body of work from within and outside of the author's laboratory is summarized. For those of you that have followed the story of endogenous wabane and its role in modulation of sodium-potassium ATPase, I'm sure you'll find this review interesting to read. In a timely review, Miller and Harmon discussed the historical background leading up to the Women's Health Initiative and discussed outcomes in perspectives with results of subsequent analysis of the WHI data and results from other prospective menopausal hormone treatment trials addressing cardiovascular effects of menopausal hormone use. They articulate how the collective results are influencing current clinical care with the intent to provide guidance for designing and evaluating relevant new hormonal studies. This review is a great summary for basic scientists in this important clinical area. Boardman et al. Tested the hypothesis that exercise-induced cardiac effects in diet-induced obese mice are abrogated by an acute high fatty acid load. Diet-induced obese mice were fed a high-fat diet for 20 weeks. They were exercised using moderate and/or high-intensity training, and isolated perfused hearts from these mice were exposed to a high fatty acid load. In addition to improving aerobic capacity and reducing obesity and insulin resistance, long-term exercise ameliorated the development of diet-induced cardiac dysfunction. High-intensity training also induced post-ischemic functional recovery and reduced infarct size. I and colleagues determined the roles of reactive oxidant species and heme oxygenase 1 in delayed acquisition of tolerance to ischemia reperfusion induced by pretreatment with the BK calcium channel opener NS1619. The anti-inflammatory and mucosal permeability sparing effects of NS1619 were prevented by coincident treatment with the HO1 inhibitor tin protoporphyrin 9 or a cell-permeant SOD mimetic MNTBAP in wild-type mice. The data indicate that NS1619 induces the development of an anti-inflammatory phenotype and mitigates post-ischemic mucosal barrier disruption in the small intestine by a mechanism that may involve ROS-dependent HO1 activity. Grossman et al. Tested the hypothesis that endothelial cell senescence increases with sedentary but not physically active aging and is associated with vascular endothelial dysfunction. Protein expression of p53, a transcription factor related to increased cellular senescence, and the cyclin-dependent kinase inhibitors p21 and p16 were 116, 119, and 128% greater in endothelial cells obtained from antecubital veins of older sedentary versus younger sedentary adults. These age-related differences were not present in venous endothelial cells from older exercising adults. Furthermore, venous endothelial cell protein levels of p53, p51, and p16 were inversely associated with vascular endothelial function. These data indicate that endothelial cell senescence is associated with sedentary aging and is linked to an endothelial dysfunction. Thank you for watching this month's issue of the AJP video table of contents from the American Heart Association Scientific Sessions. Please check out the complete online version of this month's issue. Listen to our great interviews with authors via our podcasts. Have a good Thanksgiving, and don't forget, send us your best work now.